Welcome to Opportunity Knocks. I'm your host, Todd Patton, and today in the Sprinter, we have the one and only. I mean, this is legendary right here. First of all, we have a hero in the Sprinter with us, a World War II hero, Syd Levit. Mr. Syd.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is special. This is real special. I mean, first of all, and I think it's a special birthday. Is it 80? What do you look 90?
60.
You look 60, but Syd is celebrating 100 years old. So it's first of all, Syd, it's really an honor to have you in here, and you know how we all love you and we respect you so much and what you gave for this country. And I want to hear your story though. So this podcast, Syd, just so you know, it's called Opportunity Knocks, right? And there's always opportunity knocking at your door. And you and I have spoken many times, and you've told me the stories about your businesses that you had that we're going to hear about those. But tell me about how you went away and went to the Army, how that happened. So tell me about your military experience. Take me back.
It was called getting drafted. Initially, I wanted to enlist, but my mother went into hysterics. You know how Jewish mothers are. They're always hysterical. So anyway, it was a great experience, and I had some very, very funny instances which I'd like to put on record. When I got to England, I met a very lovely girl, and that's where I learned to eat fish and chips. And after the second or third day, she invited me to her home to meet her mom and dad. So I went to her home. A typical English home, small fireplace, and her mom and dad was there. Mom made me tea and cookies, and Dad kept looking at me. He never took his eyes off my face, and he said to me, "Syd, I'd like to ask you a personal question." I said, "Oh, my mother's never going to like this." Then he turns around and offers me tea and cookies, very nice. And then he turns into a seat and starts staring me right in the face. And I said, I don't know what's coming, but I don't think my mother's going to be very happy. In typical English fashion, he leaned towards me, stared me in the eyes, and said to me, "Sydney, may I ask you a personal question?" And being the gentleman that I am, I said, "Go right ahead." He leaned very close to my face, looked me square in the eyes, and he says, "Sydney, is it true that all Americans have refrigerators?"
That was the question.
Another interesting, we were someplace in Germany. We never knew where we were. And we were like in a gully, and all of a sudden we noticed 5 men coming towards us. They were not German, and we didn't recognize their uniforms. And we had a couple of Italian boys, and they said, "Oh, they're Italian soldiers." Now, we were not near Italy at all.
Where were you?
In Germany.
Oh, in Germany. Okay.
And they kept waving at us. They were smiling and virtually jumping with joy. And why? Because they were being captured by Americans and not the Russians.
They were happy to be captured?
By the Americans.
Ah.
Now, my question to the audience is this. What would you do with 5 Italians?
Food?
Well, we put them up as cooks. It was the best food we had. They could take a can of rations and make a feast out of it. So off they went back, because they were now captured, happy, waving and smiling.
Jeez.
That was fun.
That's great.
But in my personal life, one of the comedies which I love, I had a friend by the name of Dick Ornstein. Dick was one of these guys everybody liked. Dick and I became partners in children's clothing. And Dick had a reputation as he could sell anything. So every time Dick called me, we lived 45 minutes apart, he was always up to something. This girl who was in the manufacturing of T-shirts said, "I hear you can sell anything." And of course, Dick never said no to anybody because he always got the merchandise on assignment. So I met him at the factory. Now, in those days, manufacturers could not buy the size T-shirts. You had to buy small and mediums, and large and extra large. At that trend, everybody was wearing large and extra large, so she was stuck with hundreds and hundreds of small and medium. So she says, take him. So we took him from her.
This is the small and mediums.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Only small and medium. Now, what are you going to do with so many blank T-shirts? So Dick and I talked it over, and we decided to have a screen. So we created a cow, and a brown and white cow. And anybody who knows about cows knows that there are no brown and white cows in New Jersey. They're black and white. So now we could say, what are we going to do with it? So we decided we're going to go in the screening and we're going to call them Moo Jersey. And we took him to a flea market.
So you lived in Jersey?
Yeah.
Moo Jersey?
And we decided to give her, out of the kindness of our heart, which is a joke, a quarter a shirt. So now we had the screen on and we had the shirts out at the flea market. And people would say, oh, Moo Jersey, I'll buy one. And we would say, no, we can't sell it to you because you don't say it right. You got to say Moo Jersey. So they were all excited. And we sold them. We paid a quarter and we sold them for $5.
What? Wait, a quarter to $5 profit? That's a big margin. Jeez.
You become very rich. Anyway, some of the parents wanted the bigger sizes because they would wear them as nightgowns. So we sold them to children, the small and mediums, as children's sizes, which worked out very, very well. We were very successful at it. This was my friend Dick. You had dishes you want to dump, he would take it on. Anything on consignment, he didn't care. So we were quite successful.
And you sold these at it was a flea market type?
Yeah. Flea market.
What a good story. So people were in lines just going Moo Jersey.
We had all these people standing around our tables. Adults and children all go Moo.
That's great.
No, you're not saying it right. Feeling. Moo Jersey.
Hey, Syd, that's marketing 101 right there. Yeah. You did it good.
It was wonderful.
Tell me a little bit about Honor Flight, because that's how you met Ryan, and that's how you got involved with. Tell me about your experience, your first experience with Honor Flight.
I want to tell you, the greatest lucky move I ever made in my life. Because of Ryan, who's been so generous to me. It's been an experience that I can treasure the rest of my days.
Is that how, when you first met him, was going to Honor Flight? Going on an Honor Flight? Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well, I met Honor Flight actually through a girl by the name of Jennifer. Mm-hmm. And the next time, then I was going to go to Washington. Who shows up? Ryan. And that was the start of my adventurous life. God bless him. And Emma, and Milk, and Nancy. Sue.
Sue.
Nancy or Sue. Same thing, right?
Yeah. I've had a great experience. And my children are in love with Ryan.
Yeah, I met your children too at Napa. Talk about that experience. I know they love seeing what experience you went through on that. So tell us about that experience.
Well, Napa, I never ever thought of ever going there, but Ryan popped up and said, "We're going to Napa." He never asked me if I wanted to go. He always said, "We're going to Napa. We're going to Europe. We're going there." And dummy me, I just follow. Ha ha. Anyway, Napa was a wonderful experience. Wonderful wine, generosity on Chuck, who was the owner of the wineries. And it was just wonderful. I went back the second time. That time I went back with my daughter, Nancy, and also my son once again. My son Paul was with me all over.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I saw the joy in their faces. So tell me about, Syd, when you came home from the war and compared to how now people are treating you. I mean, what's the difference? What's it feel like? Because now with honor flight is the welcome home that you really never had, right? When you got to the airport, and you see all that. Can you compare those two and tell me a little bit about what was it like coming home from the war, and then also the experience at honor flight when you landed?
Now, let me begin here. The war in Germany is over. Now, with thousands of men being shipped back to the States, trained for fighting in Japan. And luckily, on the way home, there's a huge announcement on the ship. We didn't know what it was, but the war in Japan is over. Now we're sailing into the port of New York, and all of a sudden the ship starts leaning towards the left. We were facing the Statue of Liberty. Everybody leaned towards the left. Everybody cried.
Wow.
We never got to Japan, thank goodness.
Yeah.
It was quite an experience. I met some wonderful, brave men, and we stayed friends for many years. I used to get Christmas cards about 12, and all of my buddies, we all came out okay. Only one got killed, two got killed, and as a result, we would send Christmas cards every year. Now I get none. They're all gone. Lucky me.
And what about the honor flight when you came to the airport and had that welcome home? How's that feeling when you got through the airport? Then there's 3,000 people cheering and
Wonderful.
yeah, what an experience, right?
If you don't live the experience, you can't understand. You gotta live it. It's wonderful.
Speaking of wonderful, your fastball that you just threw at the game, that was pretty impressive.
You're so kind.
You did good. You got it to the catcher, and you told him. What were you talking to him there? Like you were saying something to him, calling him over.
Yeah, I did. I called him up there and said, look, I want you to take care because I don't want to hurt you. He laughed. And he was very generous and loving. They gave me a beautiful orange shirt and a baseball, which I will try. Anyway.
That's great.
You're living the life of a king or a queen. I don't know which.
That's great. I'm going to open it up to the audience. Do we have any questions? Anybody want to ask Syd any questions? How about Emma? She's raising her hand. What do you want to ask, Emma?
Come on.
You can ask anything. Yeah? Oh, she says nothing, but I think she's going to ask something. Do you want to whisper it to me and I'll ask it? Or you want to wait? Maybe I'll do your dad first and then go to you. All right, I'll come back to you later. All right. Anybody want to ask anything? Anybody have any questions for Syd?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rich.
Yes, Syd, tell us the story about the tea and tank. The tea and the tanks. I love that one.
Okay. Well, this is a British story. We were in the middle of nowhere. In the army, the only thing they say to you is you go forward. You never know where we're at. So a lot of stuff was flying over. So the American troops flat out on the ground. You hear this noise, and it's a British. And I yell at the four guys who are up on top of the turret. Get down, there's a lot of stuff flying. And one British guy says, oh, we're brewing tea. Why don't you come over here and have a spot of tea? No way. That's my favorite British.
So bullets flying over your head.
Yeah, and he's asking for tea.
This British guy says, "Hey, come have a cup of tea." And you said, "I'm getting the hell out of here."
Yeah, right.
And I'll tell you one you come around this hill, and the three German Tiger tanks, huge. They were captured by another outfit there. As we walked by, we realized who was the tankers in the German tanks. They were women, huge women, huge arms and huge breasts. And one spit on one of my guys and took the butt of his wife and smashed it in her mouth. I don't think she would spit anymore.
What? Wow. Yeah.
Speaking of that, Syd, I know you don't like war, you hated war, and you knew it was something that you had to do. And I don't think you realized that until after the war. It's like, because you were against all wars, you hated it. Now, how do you feel about what's going on in Palestine and Israel, and what's your take on it to give to us that don't know kind of what you went through and kind of what's going on?
I learned one thing in war, whether you're a winner or a loser, you have nothing to gain. Now, Palestine will be level. It won't be a standing building. It's hard. The problem is, as a Jew, I blame it on Palestinians for what they did with 200 people become prisoners. It would have never happened if they didn't attack. However, there's always been a fight for the Palestinians who feel cheated, and I understand that. And all the Jews who are being attacked. It's a no-win situation. No win. Who's going to rebuild countries and who are under attack? And me. They all have no money left. Enough people could do their own rebuild. I have to bring in outside contract. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Anybody else have any questions? Emma's ready now, I think.
Okay, Emma.
Emma's ready.
I'm listening.
I have a question.
Let's hear it, Trish.
So, Sid, when you went to Cambridge
Yes.
and you went back on the bomber plane, was it that you guys went on? How did you feel getting back in that plane? Did it like bring back harrowing memories?
Good
Yes.
question.
That's a very interesting
Yeah.
story. When I went up from my first parachute jump, I was seated in seat number 5. Now, seats are not what you're used to in airplanes today. They're buckets. So the fellow with number 4 turned around and asked me, would I change with him from number 4? Or did I care? I'm going to go out. Then the number 3 man turned around and asked, would I change with him? And then we got the green light. Your parachute is attached to a cable. You don't pull it. And out the 3 of us went. The 4th man, what he did, froze in the door, which means he held up against the sides of the door, which is not there, and they couldn't get him out. Once you do that in the parachute, you're through. They throw you right out of the parachute because he's risking the life of the other 12 men.
Jeez.
So when I was in England, we went on that flight, short flight, and the fellas, they wanted us to move all the way to the front. And I said, well, I prefer sitting in seat number 5. He said he didn't care. And we take a short flight, and then we land, and he comes over and says, why did you want number 5? I said, that's the seat I sat in when I went on my first jump. Oh, okay. All right. And then the other fun thing, we trained in gliders. Gliders are constructed of canned shell, pipes, and wooden floor. So what happened, when the first time we went up, we did 13 of us, and a pilot and a co-pilot. Everybody asked me the same question. Where are the motors? With the glider, you're tugged up by a C-47, which is the workhorse of the war, World War II. And fortunately, when we went into Germany, we landed safely. Lucky we found a clear spot because there's no way of going anyplace else. You go one direction down, the same way as a parachute. You go one direction down, and then you join up so that you're strong. And that was more or less the first experience that I had both parachuting and also glider. Worked out, I guess.
Wow. What a story.
The funny thing is, on the funny side, we had a guy in our outfit. His name was Nick McAndrew. About 6'3", lovable guy. He was terrified of flying in the glider. So now we take off another practice run. He leans back, and his shovel is attached to his back. So he rips the canvas cover. So his backpack and shovel is outside the glider, and his body is inside. So all I did for him was I held him because he was white knuckle. Thank God everything was fine. Worked out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What a treasure you are, man. I mean, just these stories and you're to be 100 years old and to be as sharp as you are,
Okay.
man. It's
I can tell you right now, Tom, every soldier, sailor, Marine has stories. You could be right next to that guy in all your experience, and his story of looking at the words different than mine. It's true.
well, I'm looking forward to celebrating 101 with you.
Amen.
Because like I said, you are a treasure, and it's an honor having you here, and we love you. And
I got to tell you one other story.
please,
I met the most optimistic man. Okay? I'm going to Germany. I meet him for the first time. He was a pilot in World War II.
okay,
So what they did for us, in his honor, they flew him in the World War I open cockpit plane. And so the pilot they go up with him, and the pilot turns around and says, "This is the optimist. Would you like to fly the plane?" He says, "No, not today. Next year. It'll be 101." Now, I don't know whether he went back.
yes, we have audience has one more question.
Oh,
We have Rich.
Yeah, Syd, I would like to ask you about, and I'm asking you now because you are probably the only person that remembers him, is your friend, Sergeant
Marcus.
Hendrick, and what happened at Lembeck Castle. Can you tell us about that, Syd?
We were moving through a forest in Germany, and out of the forest, and all of a sudden there's a big lawn, and in front of us a castle. The castle is surrounded by a moat with water, and a bridge, of course, crossing the moat. I had a sergeant called, his name was Hendricks, 6'3", should have been an officer, not a sergeant. He crosses the bridge. There's some Germans on the other side of the castle, and we thought they were retreating, but they opened up and they killed him. He got the Medal of Honor, the 70th Airborne. Believe it or not, got 4 men who got the highest award that you could possibly get. So anyway, we put a plaque up on the castle wall. I met the Baron, who's found it still owns that 700-year-old castle. And I always had an image of that. When I went into the castle, I went into the kitchen. The kitchen was huge because in those days they had they cooked over the fireplace. I said to the Baron, in my memory, first of all, I never dreamt in 100 years I'd ever see it again. I said, in my memory, I saw this huge kitchen. I'd like to go in and see it. He says, I can't let you in, but I think he took me into another kitchen, which did not compare. The reason he would take me in because how he supports the castle, caters weddings and fairs and parties to support the castle. So anyway, the moat at this time was full. And I asked him why, because the country allowed him to take water from the river. It was quite a visit, great time. Tall, good-looking man, spoke beautiful English, and he had family in Texas, of all places. It was very nice, very nice.
That's great.
And we had a little fellow who was in the artillery. We were only 7 of us. And he says that he's the captain in charge of this trip. He says, I'd like to go back where I was headquartered in New York. You know how you work in those days. There was no road signs or anything of that nature. So anyway, he says, I know where it's at. So they put him in a car or a truck, and it took him 2 hours to get to his place. It's now dead and bad. Bed and breakfast. He knocks on the door. No answer. He knocks on the door. The door opens. And he's, can you imagine? These people are looking at this stranger. And he says that grandchildren will now run the little bed and breakfast. So he tells them who he was and he was safe in there. Okay? And the house is full of beer steins, big stuff. So he says, I like the Bible. I said, no, we don't sell it. They gave him all. So now we come back to the hotel, the wrestling, and everybody's yelling at him, oh, fill it up and drink the beer. And he says, I don't drink beer. Well, he drank beer that night because nobody would let him alone. He drank the whole stein, and his wife says, he never drinks beer. He must have been bombed that night. And if you ask him what kind of beer he drank, he did.
Well,
it was great.
That's great.
I tell you, we dedicated a monument there. Beautiful marble. Beautiful. And the man who owns the hotel is an American in Germany. Yeah. We had such a good time with him.
Your memory is sharp.
Yeah,
and as we're pulling up here to Flamenco, you've been here for a little bit, right?
Dorado.
This is what is it? Dorado.
El Dorado.
I had Flamenco. I had a place right next door to you here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, your brother was
Yeah, I sold it to him.
Oh, yeah.
We both lived
We
there.
both had. Yeah, we were both your neighbors. We didn't even know it.
No.
Well, listen. Best of luck on your trip back to New Jersey, and we're always thinking of you, and we love you.
I miss you guys.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that because all my friends in New Jersey are gone. There isn't one guy, in all honesty, I could call for a coffee.
Well, you're going to meet friends to do that because you have the personality that everybody attracts to, and you have a special gift. You really do.
I hope so, because I'll tell you, the people I met in my lifetime, precious. They'll never be repeated because they're not here.
Greatest generation. Syd, love you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Syd.
We love you. We love you.
you.